In August 1936, German mountain troops freshly arrived in the Asian theater, are at the borders of the rebel capital. At least at in the city where we suspect that the rebel government has set up after the latest round of defeats. We have cut their forces in half, and it should only be a matter of time until we can occupy that position and ensure that the rebellion comes to an end. At the home front in Germany, things are relatively stable. They're not good, but they're stable. We've still got 30 days until the next round of economic actions. The political strife has not made any progress at this point. We've got 12 days, and Schwarz-Weiß-Rot is not making any actions actually. Where did that come from? That might have been from... Yes, so shuffling the Prussian ministry, which is what we've done last episode, has caused Schwarz-Weiß-Rot not to take any actions, which makes that relatively easy for me, which means I just have to, because I have four options, I just have to target LVP, minority, and Zentrum. So LVP, minority, and Zentrum left, which means that neither of these two is going to get anything done. And the Ruhrkampf, the Syndicalist uprising in the Ruhr area, is stable at 50. So we'll have an increase by 10 and a reduction by 15. We are running a little low on options here, but we will be establishing curfews in 20 days, which should have it at 45. So we'll try to keep it within bounds. And we are currently drafting the Tarnow-Bade plan. So things here are going relatively well. Over in East Asia, we are going to have to defend ourselves here for the time being. Everybody is extremely low on organization. But so are the Chinese, and it looks like my cavalry units are managing to eventually push them out from the mountains there. Well, I'll let I have the option to move now onto the capital, actually. I will do that. We are risking being cut off here, but I think the Chinese are backfilling our positions, and the cavalry is working here to encircle. Yeah, the Chinese have backfilled the position, so we can move on the enemy capital, and then hopefully they will. At this point, they should be capitulating. I don't see why they should keep on fighting here. They clearly lost at this point, and I think that will be the end of it, hopefully. Just keeping an eye. This is all done, and we've got 27 days to do the economic actions, so that's all good. Okay, I'm going to try and pronounce this. The recent Siamese revolution, remember there was a couple of episodes ago, there was a revolution where the democratic forces had basically put the king under house arrest and did a coup d'etat. While outwardly successful, has seen its popularity plummet, taking advantage of the controversial Yellow Cover dossier, the nickname for a proposed plan to overhaul the nation's economic systems and nationalize many industries. That sounds like something they do. A red scare was whipped up. The only sure thing about the revolution is the counter-revolution. Chief of the army Luang Phibunsongkhram intervened just in time and declared martial law nationwide, widely believed to have dragged the nation back from the brink of civil war. The Iron Marshal apparently plans to rule as a dictator himself until such a time as he believes the nation is ready for the responsibility of democracy. And when will that be? Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it's stabilized the kingdom, which I am in favor of, but I think my East Asian theater needs a couple of extra troops, to be honest. So we will pull some... I do have some divisions here that are currently not otherwise occupied. So give me maybe another 3 divisions. And I'm going to get them... I'm going to get them assigned here, and then we will take the 3 new divisions and give them a defense line near Singapore. I have no idea if this is necessary or not, but that looks like a good position. Singapore has a certain economic. Where's my resources? Resources here. Has a certain economic value. I mean, so does this position, but I'd rather not lose Singapore. There's a lot of rubber here and other useful stuff, so we've got some troops here just in case of emergency, and they also need a field marshal. So who can we send? Yeah, Werner von Blomberg will send you over. This one is under von Rundstedt at the moment, and our volunteers are busy clearing out. And yes, they keep us pinned here actually. So unless the Chinese are helping, I don't think we're actually going to get out of this that easily. So, but I think we've almost linked up with the cavalry divisions that are pushing from the other side here. So once that is the case, we will reach the actually go through there and then there. All right, and we'll try to march on. We'll try to march on the capital if we can, given that our cavalry has almost made its way through. And there we go. Chinese troops in the mountains have been defeated. Chinese divisions in the north have been encircled, which means we can clear up the front lines. And given that everyone else is busy, you push towards Xiamen and you push take the capital, and you can help out with clearing up the encircled divisions in the north. And we have taken the capital, and they have immediately moved it further south, which means we will take that position as well. The government is on the run, but they have nowhere to go from here. And our cavalry is about to... can we clear this out, maybe? Not with one cavalry division, we can't. So we'll deal with that in a minute. But they are encircled. And hopefully the Chinese can clear that. We have taken Xiamen as well, which means the government now should have nowhere left to go, I think. That is probably the end of it. So I'm not going to waste any more manpower. We'll just take some more positions here, ensure that the Chinese troops are encircled, and they have been annexed. The Mingan insurgency has capitulated. The left Kuomintang government has gone into exile, and their main forces have capitulated to the Nanjing clique, who is now in control of their home area. And the Tarnobade plan has completed. So, success in East Asia. Haha. And the volunteers are returning, which means we can now focus on the home front. Nothing is going to happen here. This one is going to go up by 10 and then go down again from the curfews. And in 20 days, we'll have to deal with the economy. So for now, what are we going to take next? I think, given that I am rapidly running low on options here, as much as I would like to take established price controls, that's 42 days. 22 days allows me to have more decisions to deal with the Ruhrkampf situation. And over here, that's just decisions, so really, and a couple of cards, but this one I'd like, because these are no debt cost cards. So I'd love to complete that before the next round, but it's not going to, because we are only 20 days away from the end of that turn. So we may have to. Oh, and I'd also like to do this one, but we might have to escalate the Ruhrkampf suppression for now, although it is stable. I mean, I still have one action left here. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Right now I'm keeping it pretty stable, so I will actually go for the price controls, because that gives me basically 2 free cards, and the earlier I get these, the better. And we will see that we can get that done. We are at 45% civilian factories due to the Argentinian trade agreement and the vast public works, but the Black Monday is still making things pretty bad. That said, we are building a couple of factories, and our production is terrible because our production efficiency is down on the bottom because of Black Monday. But importantly, we have a factory on the Heinkel 111s. I'd love to get a couple out of these things. We are producing very small numbers of fighters, and other than that, we're still building the 2 Tirpitz class ships, which, as things are currently going, aren't going to be ever finished. Factory output is at minus 96%, so nothing really happening economically. An envoy has arrived from Lithuania, wishing to invite representatives from our government to negotiate a new trade agreement. Currently, due to the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk and our subsequent agreements, we have restricted Lithuanian trade from the Baltic Sea. Their goods either go through Memel or Riga. It now appears they wish to have unrestricted access to the Baltic Sea, circumventing Memel and Riga. So Lithuania can currently only trade through here or through there, and obviously they don't want that. However, Lithuania is friendly to us, aren't they? Yeah, they're a member of the Reichspakt. They are pretty friendly towards us. So I don't see why not. This might come back to bite me, but for now, I don't see why not. The situation here is about to take over. So we should, there we go. No movement in the political factions. 6 days when the war camp is going to tick up, and 17 days until we need to deal with the economy. Our advisors in Nanjing have reported to us with good news from China. Yes, that is good. Despite fears of complete collapse, warlord Jiwan? I'm not sure. I really need to learn how to pronounce these. Has finally crushed all dissent in the League of 8 provinces, preventing the socialist Kuomintag from taking over the region. Jiwan has stated that he will restore order and stability to China, and it seems that he will use whatever means to do so, even if it means that German businesses will be able to control his economy. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, there is, because these people are utterly corrupt, but that's an us problem. For the immediate future, we should be able to reap the benefits of this largely unequal relationship, as long as Jiwan can stay in power, that is. So we get political power plus 25, which is good, because we are still... no, it's dreadful. There's a research ad, actually. This game's been going so slowly that I'm used to focusing on research in the beginning, but this has been going really slowly. So yeah, it's been interesting. So my air wings should be back as well, by the way. We've got the Jagdgeschwader, we've got Küstenfliegergruppe here. These are just these are just fighter wings, and what do we have? Yeah, we've only got 2 Heinkel 111. There's no reason to create an air wing out of that. The Navy is, I think, still exercising. We have completed a Zerstörer 1934. Nice. That will be... where is the Aufklärungsgruppe currently stationed? These are the guys that are stationed in East Asia. Yeah, okay. We'll assign it to the main group for now. I will reorganize this Navy here, because right now it's a bit chaotic, but they're just here for the Hochseeflotte is just there to exercise and generate some naval experience, which means that despite all this which is going on, we're still trying to finish the 2 Tirpitzes, and we are building another one of the Zerstörer 94. 34, and then another one of those, and then a whole bunch of submarines. So this is all in good shape. The submarines have been... Have I upgraded the submarines? The Type 7As. Yes, I have. Okay, so the submarines are in good shape. And the Zerstörer 1934 is not great, but we'll deal with that later. I'll collect a little bit of of Navy XP before we actually do anything about it. The submarines was kind of my primary concern, that we get that done. Okay, 17 days until we have to deal with the economy, and 30 days until we have to deal with these folks, and 6 days until the Ruhrkampf escalates. So, things have calmed down a little bit. Famous last words. 1936 Dublin Olympics in Ireland. And the 11th Olympic Games were recently held in Dublin, Ireland, showcasing the capital of the young republic. The Games have proven a large source of pride for her. Once again, French and British delegates have been absent, the Syndicalist powers unrecognized by the International Olympic Committee, and exile governments lacking men to send. German and American athletes have seen the most success. We've won the Olympics! Well done, us. Go us. The Tsardom of Bulgaria has seen a coup. Do we care about Bulgaria? Not massively. And it has been a right-wing coup by the looks of it, or a conservative coup rather. So they are autocratic and appear to stay that way. Okay, more right-wing governments in Europe, but everything else, where Ruhrkampf is about to take over, and nothing much else has been happening. Okay, just as things are about to go their way, the staff of the Reichskanzler have drafted a proposal for Schleicher, an official visit to the Ruhr to alleviate some of the tensions personally. Okay, this would involve several speeches to trade union representatives in the region and a final public one in Essen, where the Reichskanzler is to promise labor law reform and state protection for strikers who peacefully return to work. This would strengthen Schleicher's reputation as the Red General and pave the way towards a peaceful resolution of the general strike. Of course, this proposal comes with its own risk. There's no telling what impressions the Reichskanzler will make towards an agitated, frustrated proletarian public, especially one that's been agitated by the French. Whether they will be impressed by his promises or be only more emboldened to resist. Finally, while the risk is low, the presence of armed radicals, again armed by these people, among the Ruhr strikers means that there is a possibility some may take matters into their own hands and go... where is it? Go Yugoslavia on us. So we can do two things. We can either send Schleicher out to talk to the people, which seems a good idea, especially that we have done more on the right-wing side recently. So we've shaken up the Prussian government and given the Deutsche Vaterlandspartei some concessions here to stop them from causing us trouble. And we have covered up for the brown shirts who have been assassinating, well, to be fair, French syndicalist agitators, but still, I mean, they were German, just influenced by the French. So giving a bit of an outreach to the left might not be a bad thing. Now, we are just keeping this about in the middle, where we want it to be. So this can be either a 60% chance of von Schleicher getting some good impressions, which presumably reduces this, a 30% chance of protests, which probably increases it a bit, and a 10% chance of somebody trying to assassinate him, which probably increases it a lot. Or we can pay 5% base stability to not make that happen. I think talking to them is a good thing, and there's a fair chance, a more than 50-50 chance that we'll get a good event out of it. So, which, well, good in that it reduces it. So we'll have to keep a close eye on not getting it too low. Yeah, let's reach out to the left for a bit. So that is happening. I don't know how long that is going to take, but this will tick up to 60, then down to 45 again. And in 25 days, we get another escalation, which we appear to be getting right now. Workers forming self-defense groups. And they say, what now? Across the Rhineland, workers have begun taking matters into their own hands and forming self-defense groups to prevent further incidents, like the one that happened in Essen a few weeks ago, where they were assassinated. Stashes of Weltkrieg-era weapons have been uncovered, and members of these self-defense groups have been seen attending union meetings and street protests, patrolling the events to prevent violence against their peers. I don't think they're there to prevent violence against their peers. I think they're just taking that as a... this starts smelling like civil war here. And I still suspect the French, which reminds me, am I doing this? I'm not. I forgot that. Get me an economic department, which means we can once again. I mean, it doesn't give me anything, so we might as well just leave him at home on defense at this point. But members of the cabinet agree in unison that we are rapidly approaching a point of no return. If we have reached a point where the workers in the general strike are arming themselves and forming military formation, it's only a matter of time before they start clashing with police and military forces and civil war breaks out, which is probably what the French are trying to do. While hardliners would take this as a pretext to begin dissolving self-defense groups and cowing the strikers, perhaps it is finally time to begin some negotiations with the unions to settle the strike. So we have two options. Either we send the army in, and I am literally just sending out Schleicher to negotiate with people. But how is he going to negotiate with these people if they are armed? So we can either send the army in, which is going to up the intensity by 25. So we're now at 45, so that gets us up to 70. Up by 25, and activates a mission. Or we can talk to them, which raises it by 25 plain out. I'd rather have options, to be honest. And I sort of agree. Dissolve these. So send the army in and make sure that we don't get armed in an armed insurgency in the industrial heartland here. So let's do that. Now this has activated. Okay, let me slow this down because I'm not running. I'm paused, but just so I don't get overwhelmed by things. So in 25 days, the Ruhrkampf will escalate by 10. Currently, it's at 70. We are sending von Schleicher in, so he might calm things down a bit. We are having a mission to occupy the eastern Rhineland. So how does this work? Let me try to understand this. So if we send 6 divisions, the mission will fail. Why? Oh, it's a mission for... Okay, so the armed insurgents have occupied eastern Rhineland, and we are trying to get them to fail from occupying it. And we have to send the army in. So if we do that, the mission will fail. And in fact, when failed, we get 10% base stability, and it's reduced by 25 again. Okay, so we can literally just undo this by sending 6 divisions in there. Otherwise, if we're not doing it, it'll raise by 15. Okay, so that's easy. I've got 6 divisions here. Get them into a separate army. You get an area defense order. Where was it? Here. Okay, so you get an area defense order here. So please make your way over there if you wouldn't mind. And please take the train while doing so. So once we do that, that'll push it down again to 45 where we just were. Okay, so we're sending the army in to ensure that they disarm. They will disarm the armed insurgents here and explain to them in no uncertain terms that this is not something that we're willing to deal with. I've got 8 days, so we may have to deal with the economy now as well. We've got a labor crisis, and we have the Tano Bade card in there, but I think we may have enough cards to deal with this as it is. So the Tano Bade cards are free, but I don't have them in hand. I would have to spend 3% to maybe get it, but I think we don't need that. So we can take this one because it's a labor crisis. The employment program is going to get us there halfway. And then the Arbeitsdienst public works cards were another, that's a 3%, that's expensive, but that gets us almost complete in investment. So we only need one more, and I think we can take the assistance card rather than spending the 3. Yeah, that's cheaper. So assistance from, this isn't helping, assistance from Eastern Reichspakt, that gets us over the line. That should get us down to -7, but our debt is increasing, which is not good. So we are at this should in 12 days. No, this should fail already. The fail condition is met. So this should fail already and give me back my 25 points. And then in 8 days we got the economic one, and then von Schleicher's visit, and things will happen. Okay, so that failed instantly, which means we're back to 45, which means we don't need to activate anything because we're back to 45. And yes, it has failed, which is what I wanted, which means I can bring these 6 divisions back here where they belong. Good. So we've taken their guns away from them. So I'm not having armed insurgencies in the Ruhr. And we are now looking at 1 week, and then the economic situation will improve, and we have these we still need to deal with. We are taking price controls right now. We've got 19 days until that's a problem. So I want to see what happens with von Schleicher's visit. Just to be on the safe side here. These volunteers haven't gotten back yet, so I'll need to reassign them when they get back. Okay, so volunteers are back, but we have a confrontation in the Irish Sea. What happened here? Let's read that, because that sounds interesting. Yesterday, at approximately 11:27 hours, a naval ship of the Irish Republic named the LA Matcha was suddenly rammed by the British submarine RMS Thetis, 58 miles off the coast of the Irish coastal city of Waterford, well within Irish territorial waters. Although she was rammed by a submarine. What was that? A dinghy? Submarines don't ram things. That generally tends to go very badly for the submarine. Well within Irish territorial waters. Although rescue efforts ensured both boats were saved and no lives lost, British diplomats have proven to be exceptionally cagey as to the purpose of the vessel's trespassing. Okay, so it was an accident. It wasn't that the submarine didn't. It's poorly worded. The submarine didn't ram it. They ran into each other. The German Empire and the Irish Republic have enjoyed a strong friendship since the Weltkrieg, and as Germany was among the first to recognize Irish independence and played a significant role in arming the Irish rebels against their British overlords. And while they remained associated with the British Empire after the Anglo-Irish Treaty, the British Revolution saw the establishment of substantial trade with the island country and their eventual entry into Mitteleuropa, which we still haven't unlocked. Will become active next year. In the eyes of our business community and intelligence services, this seemingly minor incident is merely the beginning of a British assault on Teutonic influence on the Isle. Yeah, the French are already agitating here, so the British are now starting to cause some trouble here as well. The current Foreign Secretary, Rudolf Nadolny, a long-serving career diplomat, has expressed concern at the Syndicalist bloc's attempts to take advantage of Germany's domestic destructions, concerns shared by Schleicher. Maintaining his moderate image, but seeking to deter Britain and deepen ties with the Irish in light of the island's strategic relevance, Schleicher advised Nadolny to respond diplomatically but firmly. Accordingly, the Foreign Secretary condemned the British Navy's intrusion into Irish waters and gave assurances that Germany would continue to stand by its friends and interests in Dublin with force if need be, while Schleicher himself made a speech on the matter denouncing London's actions. German might shall guard the nations of Europe from syndicalist ravages. That's a bit... It's putting it on a bit thickly, but yeah, it looks like it was like a patrol boat or something that crashed into the submarine. Gateway to the Atlantic mechanic. Now, what is that then? Where is it? Here. Control over the island of Ireland has always been interest to European powers. In the wake of the incident, Britain has intensified effort to foment socialist agitation in Ireland. It is crucial to German diplomatic, financial and strategic interests that agitation of the Middle European bloc does not fall to the growing tide of syndicalism. And to this end, we must completely ensure via the promotion of Germanophile influences. Okay. So, we currently have 0 points, the British have 0 points. Should either side have 15 or more influence points than the other at the end of this contest, Ireland will be puppeted by them, drawing the island into the sphere of influence. Otherwise, Ireland will remain independent, and both Germany and Britain each receive 10 political power each time they have invested. So, effectively, we have to use decisions to counter syndicalist influence and agitation in Ireland and make sure that they stay on our side, which I am in favor of. Just to have another front out here and have a friendly ports for potential Atlantic operations. Although navally, I mean, we don't know yet what situation the Americans are going to take. But from a naval perspective, the syndicalist bloc is sort of this axis here. So we don't really gain an awful lot because they're probably not doing transatlantic trade too much because the Canadians are not friendly with them. If we are looking at factions, so the Third International is just England and France right now. And nobody else really. This is all Entente here. So, yeah, I'm not sure of the utility of Irish ports, but what can we do? We can get 5 influence points, so we need 15 points. So we can equip the IRA, but we don't have rifles. We can organize training exercises, but we don't have any. Command power because of the victors of the Weltkrieg and the war support situation. We can liaise with sympathetic British officers, but we don't have the army XP. And we can enable the automatic completion of Pressure Island. So effectively, the only thing we can do right now is spend 15% consumer good factories for 10 days. To get 5 influence points. Well, that's an easy one. So in 10 days we need to get back and look at that again. What is ticking over next? The economic situation. I want to see how von Schleicher's, before I end the episode, I want to see how von Schleicher's visit is ending. Oh, we have the Sedantag, the Sedan Day. It's a public holiday because after we captured the last French emperor, Napoleon III. Okay, in every town and village from Aachen to Memel, every street is decorated in black, white and red. Not to be confused with the coalition. Every bell proudly proclaims this day of celebration. Noble soldiers and innumerable veterans parade proudly through the streets, cheered by the happy masses. Indeed, this is a good day, a day that reminds us of the peace and prosperity we have enjoyed since the forging of the Reich. Yes, because, well, these people are trying to do something about it. Haven't heard from the Russians anymore in a while, but we get 5 political power out of that, which is good. And we are 5 days away from improving our economy. And the Ruhrkampf is stable at 45. Mongolia. What is happening in Mongolia? Leader was a revolution, and He has been overthrowing government, is once again hand of Mongolians, and that Mongolia will be transformed into a democratic state for all Mongolian people. Okay, so they were under control of a Russian baron. Okay, the Russians are not going to like that. So Mongolia is probably not... the Russians are probably not going to be too happy with Mongolia. But at least we don't have to... We don't have to intervene this time around. Where did my volunteers go back, by the way? I have to find my volunteers. I am still looking for my mount. Where's my... Oh, here they are. Okay, they have just joined the East Asian Theater, that's why. So the Mountain Division can... the Mountain Division I was going to send here. Okay, and we're down to -7. So in 60 days we get to do that again. And we have the Tano Bade. I thought that the Tano Bade plan cards were without debt, but I might have misread that. So this is a 3% debt draw card. That's actually not that great. Assistance from the business would have been better. But we've got a liquidity crisis, which we don't have anything that's helping here. So this doesn't look too great. We can use the Reichsbank analysis, but stagnation and economic decline scores have been upped. But at least we're still at 35... Wait. 45 points, right? Why are we 35 now? Wait a minute. That was 45. I'm not crazy, am I? Wait, is this actually, if I win this, is this reducing the war? Or because this is economic recovery, so this is reducing the intensity of the... Okay, this is important. The game did not tell me that, or I completely missed it. But this is actually reducing... So this shaves 10 points off. Okay, so I have to keep an eye on this, also in combination with the Ruhrkampf mechanic. Sheesh, that is difficult. Okay, so... in 14 days it will escalate, and then we're back to 45. So I'm going to let that tick because I don't need to activate any events, and we can continue. We can continue with the national focus. That is a balancing act extraordinaire. This in 3 days we're going to get 5 points and be pressuring Ireland. And make sure that they don't fall for any kind of British agitation here. And then we will see... Okay, uprising in Ukraine. With the Black Monday economic crisis ripping through the world, disorder has been rife in the Oststaaten. The situation has been particularly harsh on the Ukrainian state, with the country's agrarian economy buckling under its own weight. With the country already a tinderbox, it has now erupted into a civil war. With our one-time ally, Simon Petilura and his Republican coalition leading an insurgency in the West. The Ukrainian ambassador in Berlin has assured us that the situation is under control and will not compromise the position of the Ostwall or the Ukrainian political situation. Regardless, there's little we can do to actually intervene. Yeah, this seems serious. Can we send some troops there? We have troops in the area, so if you need any, just say the word. We'll help. Okay, so it looks like over here, I might have to, where have I gotten these troops stationed? Yeah. I have the fast divisions here. So what I'll do is I'll station them here, just in case things get interesting. So let's move them over there. And still I haven't seen what the outcome of von Schleicher's visit to the Ruhr was going to be. So okay, this is okay. We have to do this, and I don't know how long it's going to take. So I'll just do this, and then we'll end the episode. So last time, the agrarian parties have not actually changed allegiance. So let's see if we can do that again. So we're going to tag the LVP. We're going to tag the minority bloc, and we are going to tag the Zentrum left, and then we are going to tag the Zentrum right. and that leaves the agrarian parties, which would just be one seat if they actually end up joining. And we will see if they do. So that's that. We've got 60 days to deal with this situation, and we have to remember to Pressure Island again. Well, let's just lick that tick over so I don't forget it. Oh, okay, and here comes the event. So the Reichskanzler's visit in the Ruhr has left a good impression upon the population. He made several speeches in major cities, speaking to crowds and granting them promises of strong labor regulations, earning the ovation of the public. The trade union representatives and strike organizers were informed of the planned reforms as well, and they were convinced by the Reichskanzler's proposals, smoothing the potential road towards negotiations. Of course, Schleicher did not hesitate to follow this, by informing his allies in the business sector that this will not endanger their position, rather take the wind out of the sails of the general strike, appease the majority with narrow reforms, and restore peace in the industrial sector. So von Schleicher is playing both sides here, as he does. So what is this going to do now? Okay, this actually, hang on, so we are at 35. This is reducing it by 15, which gets us down to 20. That is relatively low. So this will in 12 days. Can I leave this just in case I need to? What's my decision timeout on this? 13 days. Yeah, I think I'll play it safe. And I'll keep this open. This is a bit cheesy, but we'll just say that it's due to informations, because I don't know how low I can go or not. I mean, I assume I can go down to 0, but the game wasn't explicit about it. It only said keep it not too strong or too weak. What is too weak? Is it 30? Is it 30, 36, 30, 70 or something? Is it? It's definitely not 40, so because we already managed to go down to 35 and nothing bad has happened. But I think I'm going to let this tick over first, which gets it up to 45, and then use this to get it back down to 30, which is relatively low, but we'll see if 30 is too low or too high. Okay, yeah, so I'll do that next episode. For now, that's it for me today. And if somebody in the comments actually knows what the factor is, maybe I'm recording a bit ahead, so by this time maybe you already told me, but I don't know what the actual limit is for how high or how low I can go. So I'm trying to balance it around 50 as much as I can, and just to be on the safe side.